Hi everyone and welcome back to the channel. My name is Peter Barber. I'm a professional opera singer and music producer, and today we're going to be breaking down the vocals, especially on Nothing Else Matters by Metallica. This is the first time I'm ever doing a video for them on the channel. I've gotten a ton of recommendations to check it out, and especially as a professional singer to really break down what James is doing vocally. This is a reaction and analysis, so I'll be pausing primarily again to talk about the vocal technique as well as other instrumental or production sides of things. Anything musically interesting, really, that I want to talk about. Let's get into it, guys. Metallica, Nothing Else Matters. Truly one of the most iconic metal songs of all time. I mean, this just opening, like, instrumental is so iconic. We have this E minor arpeggio. Then it goes to A minor, and then we get this really cool Aeolian cadence where it goes to flat 6 major, flat 7 major, and then back to the 1 minor. You wouldn't really call it an Aeolian cadence in minor because that's how the chords naturally go. Usually an Aeolian cadence you would only put in a major key if you put a flat 6 major, flat 7 major. I won't get into all the theory right now, but it's actually my favorite cadence ever, the Aeolian cadence. And then they get back to the E minor. But just this whole instrumental is so iconic and it's amazing. I mean, music isn't made like this anymore. When you have like a long introduction to the main part of the piece, people's attention spans have gotten so short that if you're not hitting them with the hook in the first 5 seconds, you've lost them. You're getting skipped, you know? So this is really just a staple in time. In 1992, I believe, is when this song originally came out. Yeah, I'm running back a few seconds, not for the whole intro. Harmonics on the guitar. So we have a new chord progression there, and we also, if you can listen really closely in the background, there's a very light string section also kind of adding to the atmosphere of this piece. It's nothing in your face. It's literally just filling out that empty space between guitar plucks, essentially. But there is a string section highlighting the chords. I've also never seen the music video for this.
So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who you are, and nothing else matters.
It just amazes me how light and airy and intimate James's approach to these vocals are, when we know what's coming during the chorus, and we know some of the heavier, gritty, harsher, true heavy metal vocals that James puts on, and tons of Metallica's greatest hits. But then he starts this one so soft, just like really light and intimate. And what it does is it gives us such a long way to go to the climax of this song. I mean, right now, the drums are super chill. Lars giving us just a beat, really. We're not driving forward like crazy. We're not a lot of big fills or anything like that. So we've got, relatively standard drum setup. We've got this really cool doom, doom, doom still happening. And then we've got James coming in with these really light vocals. And there's still a weight and a gravity to the song where you can almost feel like the heaviness is coming. But on paper, elementally, if you break it down right now, it doesn't scream, this is a heavy song. Given the style of guitars, the style of drumming, the style of singing, we've got a long way to go before we get heavy. Except that kick drum. That kick drum's pretty heavy.
Forever trusting who you are, and nothing else matters. Never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters.
Like, James is only getting up to a B below middle C. And nothing else matters. That's back down to the E. Like, it's not high. It's like right in his middle, just getting into the upper portion of his range, but pretty much all middle voice. We did get some extra guitars in this second section, right? Pretty much all in the left ear. If you guys are listening on headphones, you can pay attention to what's called the stereoscopic image. That's how the sounds essentially are laid out left to right. So you get some sounds that are very much in the right ear, some are in the left, some are more towards the middle, but not in the middle. Usually lead vocal, kick, snare, bass is all right down the middle, and all the other elements kind of go out here. But pay attention to that. This guitar comes in and it's really just in the left ear.
Life is ours, we live it out
Let me go back so you can actually hear it come in.
this way.
Right there.
Open myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters.
All right, let's go.
Trust I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters.
So this is really cool. So this section here, vocally, we're in the same range, but we do get an upper harmony. So that's why you hear that multi-track, multi-voice sound, as we do have two voices here. Obviously James, pretty sure James multi-tracked it. Maybe someone else is singing harmonies. Someone else would be singing harmonies if they performed it live, most likely. I've never seen them perform this live. I wish I had. But we've got two harmonies now, just a two-part vocal harmony, and also there's a little more power and intensity behind the sound. We're not getting into grittiness. We're not getting into the big rock metal belting, but there is more vocal fold closure, which means there's more cut in the sound. There's more edge to the sound. It's getting more towards, rock vocal, like non-harsh rock vocal, whereas in the beginning it was much softer. Now, da, 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 there's a little more edge to the sound, Other than that, two-part harmony, and then we're about to get into our first chorus here.
I seek and I find in you. Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know.
All right, so now that's our first moment listening to James really kind of rip it in his upper chest voice. So that's up to G4. So high basically essentially tenor high G, baritone high G. And we're also getting the grittiness in the sound. We're getting that more metal quality of singing, right? Where there's grittiness, there's more edge to the sound. Inherently, that's going to rev up the intensity of the moment as we get from the other instruments accompanying. But this is really the first time we're getting James in his upper range, and man, does it sound good. It sounds so phenomenal.
Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I know. So close, no matter how far. Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. And nothing else matters.
So his vocal approach is different in this verse, right? I mean, it's the foundation of it is the same as the first couple verses, to where it's that intimate approach, it's softer singing, the edge is gone, the grit is gone. What I love that James does here is he goes a little bit, he has moments where it's more like speech. It's not all just vocal melody. There are moments when he intentionally kind of what we call comes off the voice in an operatic setting, which means you come off the breath support more and you allow the sound to be breathier or weaker or more speech-like. And he does this in a number of moments throughout this section, more so than in the first couple verses. So the approach is different. He also adds a few extra notes in there. He adds some more kind of flair to the vocal melody, so it is different. Like, of course, fundamentally the chords are all still the same, but he noodles around in a few moments where it does change the melody some. I'll point them out.
So close, no.
So close. So close. Not so close, so close, so close. I mean, he really does not sing those first two pitches.
So close, no matter how.
Then goes back to singing.
Couldn't be much more from the heart.
So he does a little 3-note riff and then does a slide up to his last note after the 3-note riff.
Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are.
And then forever. That's another moment where he really comes off the voice. There's not much tone. It's more air. Doesn't really sing. Forever. And then goes back to singing.
Forever trusting who we are. And nothing else matters. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I know.
You know, he gets such nice presence on that ooh vowel. It's really tough. I mean, ooh, yeah, ooh is notoriously a like the darkest of the dark vowels, but he's putting grit and so much, edge in that sound that even on that ooh, he's singing up here. Look at what they do on that high E. He has so much presence in that ooh vowel. You just don't hear that very often. It's really well done. He's really forcing that brightness and squeal in the sound.
Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. But I
Someone leave a comment. I wonder why they chose to do the music video this way. I actually haven't. I've heard a lot of Metallica music, but I haven't watched hardly any music videos. So I don't know if this is normal for them to do more like a behind the scenes shoot for them actually shooting the music video or tracking the song. Excuse me, tracking the song, and they use that as the official music video. This was a more common thing, I think, in like the 90s. I remember this being like a theme when I was like a little kid watching MTV. I think I read this was taken off MTV because they had the Playboy nudes pinned up in their recording session. But yeah, let me know if you guys have information about this music video. Really amazing. I mean, this whole down section there's not much going on. There's like five musical elements. We've got like bass, rhythm guitar, maybe a mandolin typed instrument or some kind of higher plucked string instrument. Drums, obviously, guitars. There's about 5, 6 elements in there. No voice, obviously. If you count each stringed instrument, that would be more. There's like a little string section, I suppose. But it's just so compelling. The chord progression's really, there's so much gravity to it. It's just a really compelling progression, and there's enough happening musically to where, I mean, like, there are so many songs where if you had a down section like this, you'd lose interest. But there's something special about this piece where the arrangement of instruments and the chord progression and there's enough riffing and kind of solo moments happening in this down section to where there's enough changing to where it stays fresh. It's somehow perfect and so captivating. This, what is that? This is just like the neck. It's just like the neck of the guitar. That's what I was calling a mandolin, which is so far from correct. Oh, it's like a little. It's like a. That just seems like an 80s 90s guitar move. Yeah, no mandolin.
I never opened myself this way. Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters.
So a little, again, changing melodies here and there to change it from the first couple verses. Now, the main thing here I want you guys to notice is his vocal approach to this verse it's very similar to how he sang the verse when there was the 2-part harmony. When I talked about how his voice was revving up in intensity, there was more vocal closure, there was more edge to the sound, not a bunch of grit in the sound, but more edge to the sound, more brightness, more cut, more squealo, as we call it in the opera world. This is the kind of sound that carries further in an auditorium. In opera, we sing without microphones and with a full orchestra. So you have to have tons of squealo and cut in your sound to have any chance of being heard when the orchestra's playing, no matter where you are in your range. Whether you're at the bottom, you got to have cut. When you're at the top, the cut generally comes more naturally, but you got to have a lot of cut there as well. So this sound it has a lot of cut in the sound, a lot of brightness in the sound, and we got it on that section with 2-part harmony, but we haven't heard him do it as one voice yet. We've heard the big gritty power sounds in the chorus, and we've heard the soft intimate singing. We haven't heard this sound alone. So that's kind of the new element we're getting in this verse.
Nothing else matters. Trust I seek and I find in you.
Oh, did I not go back?
We live it
I was like, wait, there's grit in that sound. That must be different. Hold on. Here we go.
I never opened myself this way.
No grit, just edge.
Life is ours, we live it our way. All these words I don't just say, and nothing else matters.
Great vocal closure.
Trust I seek and I find in you.
Oh, interesting.
Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters.
This is really cool. So in this last verse, I think officially the last verse of the song, he's singing part of that upper harmony that he was singing earlier. So I think he is multi-tracked. Live, they'll have someone else sing it, but I think in the studio he's multi-tracked. I don't know. I don't know. But he's singing the upper harmony of whoever was singing that upper harmony. Then he options a few things higher, but he's also adding some grit in the sound. So we're getting this perfect, like, we're getting the missing link between him singing in a nice, like, edgy, bright sound as a soloist and what he does in the choruses, which is the big, higher, full grit sound. We're getting a mix of those two things, and he's blending it range-wise too, because he's connecting this lower verse singing, like note-wise, to the higher chorus singing by doing those options up. So instead of singing just the melody or the harmony, he's doing some options up. So we're getting a little taste, basically, of what's coming in the chorus. So it's really cool. I've never listened this closely to this song, obviously, and it's so cool to pick out all these nuances and literally like the evolution of his voice throughout the song and how perfectly it evolves verse to verse to where it's just gradually revving up intensity at a rate you might not even notice unless you're breaking it down like this.
Every day for
There, that was a every day. And that was just an E, right? But that's closer to what he's singing in the chorus than the rest of the verse. All right, here we go.
trust I seek and I find in you.
That's that upper harmony.
Every day for us something new. Open mind for a different view, and nothing else matters. Never cared for what they say. Never cared for games they play. Never cared for what they do. Never cared for what they know. And I know, yeah.
There it is. Holds on to that high G belt. Really awesome. We do have a lower harmony in the chorus. I think it was probably in the first ones, but I wasn't really paying attention to it. So again, either James multi-tracking in the studio, but live, very likely someone else in the band is going to be taking that lower harmony unless they're running a backing track during the performance. All these things are possible and totally, standard practice depending on the band. So I don't know what their arrangement is, but point is there's a main melody happening in the chorus, then there's a lower harmony happening. And of course, James just absolutely filthy on the guitar as well. So this is our final big moment before going into the outro. And he goes back to singing much softer and more intimate, right? He takes us back to kind of where we started this journey. But just a really great solo from James here as well. Amazing vocals, amazing guitarist. His approach to this final outro is actually even more intimate than where he started the piece. It's even more on the breath. He still does a little forever and like stops singing for a moment there, but it's so this send off to the listener is so intimate. Really, really cool to see that, hear that.
So close, no matter how far.
It's like he's right in your ear.
Couldn't be much more from the heart. Forever trusting who we are. No, nothing else matters.
And he says, no, nothing else matters instead of, and nothing else matters. God, could you imagine? That's how people used to record on fucking tape. Wild. And they just stay on that E minor forever. No longer changing chords. So good. Really one of the great, I mean, probably my favorite Metallica song all time. Probably this. And one of the most iconic heavy metal, hard rock songs, whatever you feel it fits more neatly into. Doesn't really matter, does it? Nothing else matters. Absolutely phenomenal. Hope you guys learned something about especially James's vocals. That's really where my specialty lies. I hope you gain some more appreciation for what he's doing and the nuances that go into his singing and any other elements I was commenting on, especially the use of clean vocals versus a little bit of grit versus vocal fold closure versus breathy singing. All those things I find absolutely fascinating. If you're still here, you do too. So please leave a comment. Any other suggestions for more Metallica or any music really, doesn't matter. Anything you'd like to hear me analyze and break down from the perspective of a professional singer and music producer. That's what I do. If I enhanced your Metallica experience, please do consider joining my Patreon community. We'd love to have you over there. It's a great supportive group of people, and we interact every day. You could also donate with no commitment with Buy Me a Coffee in the description. And also check out all the affiliate links. I'm an affiliate for the world's greatest voice studio. That's the Big Brev Vocal Studio, one of the greatest singers I know is on the planet, and he's a great teacher. Check that out. You can make a custom jersey with DIYOJ. Check that out. A lot of good stuff down there. So anyway, I'll see you guys in the next Metallica video. Peace.